Okay, hello and welcome back to the Dearest Father community page. My name is Yarima. I am the scripture strategist, and I want to talk to you about the same thing that probably is going to keep talking to you guys about for just a little while, which is hearing from God, talking to God, understanding His voice. So I posted a video recently saying that, when people don't hear from God, it's because they are trying to hear this like boom thunderous voice like Bruce Almighty, right? And one of my homegirls, ex-client turned homegirl because we worked together for so long that we built up that relationship. She commented on the post and she was saying how meanwhile here she is still hearing God speak to her through her dog. And you might laugh at that, but the truth is that God does speak to us through everything. Like he speaks to us through the small things, through things that we call coincidences. He speaks to us through repetition. Like he is speaking if you are listening. And so this morning I woke up and I'm like, all right, Father, like, what are we talking about today on YouTube? Because I have every intention of coming on, creating a video. Like, I had every intention. But I'm like, okay, Father, but what are we actually talking about? Because I have 1,000 ideas in my head. Like, I have 1,000 of things that I want to talk to you guys about. But I also want to make sure that I'm not moving in my own strength. So anyway, I didn't have the answer at first. I get up. My husband and I woke up around the same time. He got up, I want to say a moment before me. And so he went into our bathroom first. And I'm like, all right, he's in our bathroom. I have to use the bathroom as well because, you just wake up, you have to use the bathroom. So I'm like, I'm just going to go use the kids' bathroom. So I'm going to use the kids' bathroom, and each of my children have a different responsibility. And I'm going to say my third child, so I have four, and the third one, her responsibility is organizing their bathroom. And so yesterday, I walked past the bathroom and I can see that there's a big bottle of shampoo that's like on the floor as if it like fell and rolled underneath like the sink. And so I called her and I'm like, baby, go into the bathroom. Use mommy's eyes. Don't use your eyes. Use mommy's eyes to look around and see what needs to be picked up and organize your bathroom. So she goes in, she picks the stuff up, she organizes it. And I walk past the bathroom again and I see that this big bottle of shampoo, and we use a lot of pattern products. So if you ever seen like the pattern jumbettes, then you know how big that bottle is. So I walk past the bathroom again and I see that this big shampoo bottle is on the counter. And I'm like, baby, that's not where it belongs. Like, you have to put it where it belongs or it's just going to end up back on the floor. So I'm not going to hold you. I didn't really go follow up with her to see, like, did she go move it? I didn't do any of that stuff. It was later in the day. I was already in make their plates mode, get them to bed mode. Like, I wasn't coming back to go see follow up. Did she actually pick it up? So anyway, I go to use their bathroom this morning, and next to their toilet is their toilet paper holder, like where the actual roll of toilet paper that we're using is. And then right behind that is like we have like this cylinder thing. I guess it's a toilet paper holder too, where you just stack all the next levels of toilet paper so that when you run out, you don't have to go underneath the cabinet. You don't got to go into the pantry, the closet, wherever y'all, the linen closet, whatever you call it. You have to have extra toilet paper right there. So I go to grab for the toilet paper, and there's no toilet. There's a very little bit of toilet paper there. So I'm like, okay, let me reach into the toilet paper holder where the storage ones are and see if there's toilet paper in there. Y'all, while I reached in there, and that's exactly where the shampoo was. That big jumbette of shampoo that I told her to pick up and told her don't leave it on the counter because if you leave it on the counter, it's just going to end up right back on the floor. It didn't end up on the floor, but it fell off the counter and fell into their toilet paper holder. So now I'm cracking up. So I take it out and then I grab the next roll of toilet paper. And I'm just sitting there cracking up because I'm like, God, like, I hear you. Because in that moment, what he said is that When people say that I'm not talking to them, it's because they're not listening. Just like my daughter was not listening. I don't know if she heard me. I don't know if she heard me and ignored me. I don't know if she heard me and I don't know. But clearly you was not listening, sis, because if you were listening, then it wouldn't have ended up inside the toilet paper holder. It would have ended up inside the shower in the caddy where it belonged. So I'm cracking up because I'm just like, I'm thinking about how God speaks to me through my children, right? Through experiences and situations with my children. I have a whole podcast that I very rarely promote. It's called Two Steps in the Right Direction. It's on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And it literally is just all these episodes about how God spoke to me through something that happened with my children, like what lessons I learned from them. And so anyway, I started laughing like, Father, all you're telling me is that your children don't actually listen. And how many of us have that? I don't know who's a parent, who's not a parent that's listening to this, but how many of us have that where it's like, I know I told this child to do XYZ, and yet it's not done correctly or it's not done at all. And it's just like, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm not speaking, or does that mean that they're not listening? And so it's the same thing with God. We don't always obey him. We don't always hear him because we're not always listening for him. And then it made me think a little bit more because I said this was my third child out of four, right? And I'm like, my oldest would not have done that. Now, I'm not saying that he is perfect in everything that he does, but I'm saying that he listens a lot better than my younger two children, right? So my older two children listen a little bit better than my younger two children. Why? Because they've been listening to me longer. Why? Because their understanding is greater. Why? Because that's what happens with time and energy invested. So if you think about the fact that, new Christians versus mid-range, I've been saved for a decade, but that's only a third of my life, which dang, a decade is about a fourth of my life. But when you start thinking about like the fractions of how long you've been listening, it really does impact how you hear. I just thought it was really cool because I asked the question. I said, Father, what are we talking about today? And he gave me such a simple answer through a very simple experience. Not everybody would have had that experience and felt or understood that that was God giving them an answer. Some people would have had that experience and just been like, ugh, this child don't listen, and kept it moving. But it was really, when I tell you, the moment that I said, this girl, was she just not listening to me? The moment that I said that, it like clicked in my spirit. Okay. And the same thing with God. Were you not listening to him? Did you not hear him? So I thought it was interesting, and I hope that it kind of helps you to recognize a couple of things. One, God is listening God is speaking, God is speaking if you are listening. If you are listening. And listening is a full body experience. Listening is not just with your ears. I know the scripture that I was going to give you guys today, because I'm the scripture strategist. The scripture that I was going to give you with this one was Mark chapter 4, verse 9, when Jesus says, let those who have ears, for anyone that has ears, let them hear, right? For if anyone has ears, let them hear. That was going to be the scripture that I gave you, and obviously I just gave it to you anyway. But I really want you to know that when it comes to listening to God, your ears are not the only tool that you're going to need to have. Your heart has to be open. Your mind has to be open. Your eyes have to be open. You have to be willing to look for the miracle signs and wonders, because he speaks to us through miracle signs and wonders. If you're still struggling with, but how do I know if it's my voice, or how do I know if it's God's voice or the adversary's voice? If you're still struggling with like, I feel like I'm not hearing nothing at all, the description's in the link below. It is a $9 investment. That's like literally a no-brainer. And the reason why it's a no-brainer is because I truly want everybody to have access to these key tips on how to hear from God. I want everybody to have access to like break the silence that you feel in your spiritual walk, because who wants to walk around feeling like they're praying into the void? Who wants to walk around feeling like they're talking to God, but God's not listening to them because he's not talking back? Nobody wants to feel like that. So easy access, descriptions in the link. It's called Break the Silence. Make the investment. Give me 15 minutes of your life, and I promise you, you'll be on that right path. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope that something that you heard today was helpful, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.